All right, so if you're in the financial space, you should know who this man right here is. This is Aristotle. On Instagram, it's like Aristotle Investments. On YouTube, everything, right? So the other day, he made this post saying that the United States is adding 1,000 new millionaires a day thanks to the stock market. Now, he didn't make this post, he reposted it, but it was like some statistical data that got released. And you got to ask yourself, like, how is this even possible? You feel what I'm saying? How are 1,000 new millionaires are being made every single day, right? So there's only two ways that you can really necessarily free yourself and become a millionaire, right? It's either have a business or invest in one. Now, yes, you have entertainers and athletes. Those are exceptions. And even in that space, they have their own business because their name, their brand is their business. But you either start a business or invest in one. So in this case, yes, 1,000 new millionaires are made a day on average, thanks to the stock market, because people have equitable interest in profitable companies, right? So what I mean by that is you can have ownership of a profitable company, and as they grow, as they make money, you make money. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole basis of this video. I want to talk about how this company right here, right? When you see this truck in whatever city you live in, this is a company that is profitable. They do well for themselves. And it's just a company that just makes sense, right? So I want to talk about how I use this company how I plan on using this company to free myself or to give myself leverage, right? I have ownership in this company. I bought shares, and I'm going to show you how I bought shares and why I bought shares. So the why, if we look here, right, their cash flow has been consistent, and if not consistent, growing. So it declined 2 years straight, but then it jumped back up, and now it's back increasing. If we go to their total revenue, it's been increasing, right? Year by year, it's been increasing. So that's just a sign of just health, right? If we go here on the chart, this is what I solely focus on. I focus on the charts. If you look here, I bought the pullback. So I bought my shares here. And the reason why is because we had daily demands on here. So if you look over time, this company has been growing since 88, as far as we can see. 1988, right? This company. So imagine if you had just placed your money anywhere here, over time, you know it's gonna grow. So that's why I felt like, besides the financials, the company just makes sense, right? We all gonna throw trash away for the rest of our lives. And when you throw trash away, you're not gonna say, "Oh, this is waste management." I don't want to throw my trash in. I don't want to use waste management to pick up my trash outside. Or I don't want to use, no business is gonna say, I don't want to use waste management to get rid of my business's garbage, right? So if you go to any marketplace or plaza, right, full of a bunch of retail stores, if you drive to the back of that store, you will see a big dump. 9 times out of 10, that dump is waste management, which is this company here, right? And so that's just how you can just look into your reality, look into your environment, your neighborhood, and see what companies are profitable. If you see this big green and yellow truck, they making money, they here to stay, and nobody is saying, hey, we don't want to use waste management no more, right? And then you can just look at the chart. Look at what it's been doing over time, right? It's always been recovering, breaking all-time highs. So all I want to do is buy pullbacks. I never want to buy at the top here, right? Or I never want to be a buyer here, or up here. I always want to be a buyer down here, right? Down here. So the way that I make sure that I'm buying low and selling high, or in this case, I'm never selling my shares of this company. I'm gonna keep them. But the reason why I know that I'm buying low is because the same setups that I look for on intraday time frames, like a 15-minute time frame, is the setups that I'm looking for on higher time frames. I only want to buy in demand imbalances, right? So if there's a demand imbalance, that's where I'm going to be buying my shares or adding my ownership to the company, right? This is a good dividend paying stock. It's a profitable company. It's going to keep growing. We're going to keep throwing trash away. We never going to stop throwing stuff away. You know, we got to get rid of waste. So this is a very popular company. Trash, like, nobody would ever think a trash company could potentially make you become financially free or to help you to become financially free. So waste management, I bought down here. I'm probably up like maybe like 3-4% right now. At some point I was up like 7% when it was up here. We getting this little pullback. Nothing to be worried about. If it get back down here to this US daily zone, I'm gonna just add more shares. I'm gonna own more of the company. You know what I'm saying? Down here. But, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, where do we expect for this company to be? Do we think it's still gonna be at $2.29 a share? Based off of the past, right? Based off how humans live, right? Do you think that this company will be down here, right? Do you think this company will do something like this and just, you know what I'm saying? No, because it hasn't done that yet. And the way that we live, we have to dispose waste somewhere, right? Look at all of the businesses. Like I just said, go to a marketplace in any city. If you wrap around the back of the marketplace, nine times out of 10, you're going to see a waste management garbage disposal dump, right? And that's just that. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Nobody gonna say, "Oh, we don't want waste management no more." Like, it's not gonna happen. So every pullback, we gonna buy it. Every pullback, we gonna buy it. What I mean by pullback, I mean every time that the price reaches a high point, and then it returns back to a low point. So it reached a high point, pull back to a low point. Reach the high point, pull back to a low. Reach the high, pull back to a low. Reach the high, pull back to a low. Every time it pull back to a low, we just gonna become more of an owner of this company, which is buying shares. And the reason why we wait for the pullback is because the price is cheaper here relative to it being up here. You see what I'm saying? If we look over, this is the 125, 128 area. This down here is the 87, 85 area. Huge discount. So as an investor, as a trader, we want to buy low. That's the only way we're going to profit, right? And so we getting this pullback this week. I'm not tripping. It came out of the zone. I was up, but like I said, I'm not tripping because this is a stock that I'm going to hold long term. I'm talking about like 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Like, I'm just going to keep buying it up. It's going to serve as like a bank account for me. You know what I'm saying? So as this company grows, that continues to grow, like how it's been doing over the past 30, 40 years, my bank account gonna grow with it. See what I'm saying? Simple as that. So keep it simple. It's not rocket science. Just look out into your environment, see how people living, pay attention to small things like don't ignore the garbage man. People ignore the garbage man. I don't ignore him. I try to see what company he work for. Every time I see a waste management company, I get excited. Every time I see a waste management truck, I get excited, right? And maybe if you got Coca-Cola shares, every time you see people drinking Coke, or every time you see a Coca-Cola truck, you get excited, right? Because you already know like your money being worked the right way. Or you know that as this company growing, your bank account growing. So this video is just to show you waste management, right? Every time you see this truck, think about it. Dang, I need to go buy shares of this company, or I should be an owner of this company. And then we don't just go run and buy it. You want to check the financials, see if the company is doing well, right? You can go to Yahoo Finance. You can go to Finviz, right? It's a lot of financial websites that you can go check the financial status or health of a company. And then most importantly, you want to go check the charts. I am a technical analyst. I always go check the charts. I'm never going to make a buying decision without seeing where to buy at, right? And so this is going to allow you to know where to buy. It's a clear demand zone right here. Right, we got a drop basing candle followed by a rally candle. And then I'm just waiting for the price to pull back. Now, in my Discord, where I document all my trades and stuff, I literally waited for this to happen about weeks, right? So this was my entry. You see the same zone here, right? I waited for it to pull back so I can get a cheap price. I would never buy up here. I would always buy down here. I got this bullish Harami pattern, so that's my candlestick formation pattern to let me know to execute the trade. And then on a higher time frame, on a weekly time frame, I got this bullish doji pin bar candle, right? So these are all confirmations to enter the trade with a bullish bias, right? So you see here, and look at the date too, 7/5. Right now it's August 14th. This was last month. So you see, I say I'm adding waste management to my portfolio. Got a bullish Harami pattern inside of this daily zone that I've been waiting for waste management to pull back into, which is the same exact setups I take on intraday time frames. And I said I also got a weekly confluence with a doji out of the weekly zone. So this is a perfect add buy area for the long term. And what I say, I really waited 7 weeks for this move pullback setup to happen. And I said patience, because when you wait, that patience is going to pay you, right? So I said waste management will recover and set all-time high records. And then, that's some little day trades. But then you got here, right, just like maybe like 3 weeks later, each candlestick is a day. So about 3 weeks later, we got this rally up, was up about 7-10%. And then now, we pulling back, but it's fine though. Like I said, it's fine because for one, I'm still up on the position because I bought down here. And then if it comes back down here, guess what we're going to do? We just going to buy more. We're going to just buy more, right? If it come back here, we're going to just buy more. And at least we know as an investor, from our perspective, we got a discount, right? We didn't buy up here and then now we're taking the L and then it rallied up. We still in loss because we bought where? Up here. Right? If we bought up here, it rallied down to this zone, we down. If it rally up, we still down. It rallied back down, we still down. So it's like, we want to buy low. And to buy low, you want to find your price imbalances, supply and demand zones. You want to have them plotted out on your chart so you know where the price imbalances are. Or in other words, where are the probabilities of the price reversing at on the chart. Once you find those areas, you pretty much straight. You just keep buying companies, right? So this is the video talking about how and why I added waste management to my portfolio and why. So trash will pay me. Don't miss out. I think you should add waste management to your portfolio too. Personally, I will wait to see what it does here. If it falls down here, I will buy. Let's say it never fall back down there and it do something like this, set all-time new high, it set a new high for itself. I would not buy here. I would literally wait for it to pull back and find that next demand zone. Maybe that next demand zone to be somewhere in this area, because that's what I'm gonna be buying too. You feel me? So, but yeah, this is my perspective on how I trade, how I invest, how I buy stocks, and why I buy stocks the way I do. Right, waste management. So hopefully this video will allow you to, spot opportunities in your environment, in your economy. Looking at what companies are doing, how they performing. Hopefully this video will allow you to look at trash differently, right? When you see the trash man come on Tuesday or Thursday or Monday, whatever day they come in your neighborhood, maybe you look at the trash man differently. You're like, oh snap, he working for a company that's making me money. You know what I'm saying? So